Barry's going to ring the gong, and then we're going to chant for 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Adgure Namah Yugadgure Namah Sadgure Namah Siri Gurudev Namah Adgure Namah Yugadgure Namah Sadgure Namah Siri Gurudev Namah Adgure Namah Yugadgure Sadguru Namah Sri Gurudev Namah Adguru Namah Jugadguru Namah Sadguru Namah Sri Gurudev Thank you. We are so thrilled to have the Tibetan monks here with us today. It's really special for all of us. And I've put in this song to say that you are the blessing to the world. We dedicate this to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, choir. Great job. So if you are comfortable, please stand and join hands. And we'll do our community song. This is Surely the Presence.
Is Let us pray. Surely the presence of the Lord is here because you are here. You, the very embodiment of the peace that is God. You, the embodiment of the love that is God. You, the embodiment of the joy that is God. In God we live, move, and have our being, and in us God lives, God moves, God has its being. And from that place of being the hands of God, the feet of God, the very heart of God, we hold a special place in our minds, in our thoughts, in our prayers for those still recovering from the effects of Hurricane Harvey in Houston, for those who in this very minute are bracing under the strain of Hurricane Irma in Florida. We hold them in our hearts, knowing that indeed all will be well because we are here. Because we will help. We will lend a hand. We will be generous. We will give. We will be the wholeness and the healing of God in action. We are the ones who lift. We are the ones who restore. We are the ones through whom God's work is done. So staying grounded in joy, we give thanks for the opportunity that we will have to do as much. We see everyone safe. We see everyone well. And we know that this will be a time when they seek to reconnect with each other from that place of love and compassion. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen and amen. You may be seated. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity on the River. I am Reverend Ogun Holder, Senior Minister here. So thrilled that you can join us for this special morning, for this day. Come on in. Plenty of seats all over. Come have a seat. I'm especially thrilled to welcome from the, I'm going to say this maybe not accurately, but I'm working on my pronunciations, the Duprang Loslang Monastery, the monks, also known as the Mystical Arts of Tibet. So honored to have you here with us today. You will hear from them more in the service today, and just in case you've been living under a rock for the past week and don't know why they're here, they're here. They're going to be constructing a beautiful sand mandala, couple not even buildings, doors over in what used to be the dance studio over there. Just follow the prayer flags, follow the signs. They're going to be doing that all during the week. Please come visit, see the experience. And then they'll do a closing ceremony on Saturday. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Really grateful for those of you also who contributed in your ideas for naming the meditation garden. I want to share with you, we listened to what you said. We took a less is more approach for naming the garden. It will be called the Unity Meditation Garden. Simple and straightforward. Right? Less is more. But overwhelmingly, many of you felt that it was really important to dedicate some part of it in honor of our family minister, Reverend Shipley. So we are going to dedicate the Reverend Shipley Allison Peace Pagoda, that wonderful thing that we're building up there. And even more good news, she will be here next Saturday for when the monks dedicate the garden. And I said to her, well, the pagoda's not done, so you're going to have to come back when we finish it and dedicate it. She's up for that. And the final piece, as you know, we have the Peace Chapel, and we thought it was really important to honor another member of our community. This is someone who passed away recently, I believe last year, but he was instrumental in not just helping grow this community, but literally build it, this physical space that we're in and the other units that we own in this plaza. It's all come about because of his work, and that's Jim Labrie. So we're going to honor We're going to honor Jim by dedicating our Peace Chapel room after him, and we'll have another little ceremony later for that. We spoke to his wife, Ellen. She's absolutely thrilled, and we're getting some things together, like a plaque, a picture, and she's, a date when she can be here to help us dedicate that. I think it's very important that we honor the shoulders, the hearts, the love that this community has been built on in the past as we continue to grow and move forward together. So as we move forward, we have so much happening this week, so much. I say less is more, but this week is going to be more is more. I apologize. Help you tell all about it, Mickey.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to this special day of Unity on the River. This is a blessed time. Do you realize how blessed we are today? It's just, I have to ground myself. I'm so excited. Okay. So, what do I do now? Oh, good morning and welcome to Unity on the River. Let's welcome our streamers. Welcome, streamers. Thank you for coming. Do we have anyone here for the first time? Just raise your hand. There's a flower. Keep your hands up. There's a flower for you. That flower will get you 10% off. People, make sure that you keep your hands up. That flower will get you 10% off at the bookstore. We've got some extra goodies in the bookstore today that are related to our visit from the Tibetan monks. And there's also a center out there. You can learn more about Unity on the River. You can talk with anybody. We have a fellowship right afterwards, and then we've got some other stuff happening this afternoon. So if you have any questions, there's a packet that might answer them as well. Thank you so much for coming. Your presence always enhances us even more. We have one over here. Does everybody that's new have a flower? Okay, let's make sure. I like to make sure that happens right there. We've got lots of folks. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoy us. I hope you enjoy the service as well. Unity on the River is a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, not self-centeredness, oneness and joy. Please hold these truths in your heart as we say together our mission and vision statements. And as we say our mission and vision, really take that in your heart. Try and take that with you this week, especially with everything that's happening in our world. Prayers. We all need to really be more powerful than ever. Our mission statement together. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And then together our vision statement. Centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. I have some announcements. Just want to do briefly, as briefly as I can. Okay, so as you know, we have the Mystical Arts of Tibet. The monks of Tibet are here. So they will be performing the opening ceremony this afternoon at noon here in the sanctuary. So please, I hope you can all come back and stay after fellowship for that really important part of the ceremony. Now, we still need about 15 volunteers for this week. So please look in your hearts if you can help out at all this week. Please talk to Peter, talk to Heather. Heather, could you stand? Peter, we all know Peter. Is there anybody else they can talk with? Are you basically the key people for that? Okay. And if you can do anything, maybe just ask what they might need, maybe a time slot or whatever. That would be fabulous. Now's the time to really serve our community. Thank you so much. Unity on the River welcomes you to join in prayer and action for peace in the midst on September 13th, starting at 7 p.m. The sanctuary will be open for 24 hours with prayer chaplains available. This event will conclude with a closing service at 7 p.m. on the 14th, and we hope to see everyone there if you can come in and out during that time period. And then also on the 16th of September, we will have the closing ceremony. That'll be from 4 to 5. And that'll be following right after our Holistic Health Fair, which I think a lot of you are familiar with, the Holistic Health Fair. That's happening again. Tina, are you here? I don't know if you're here. Tina is running that. Thank you, Tina. There's going to be lots of folks here. There's going to be all types of healers, rapid recovery, aromatherapy, Ayurvedic therapy, astrology, angel messages, card readings, hypnosis, Bowen therapy, sound healing, jewelry design, art, creative work, all kinds of stuff. So that's a wonderful day. I've come and checked that out in the past. It's wonderful. And then at 4 o'clock on the 16th, the monks will be doing the garden dedication for the meditation garden. So that's a great time to be here as well. Then Create Your Life's Desire workshop will be facilitated by Monica Dubé on September 12th at 6. And there's a sign up in the Resource Center. And I think that's everything for now. So now it's that time in our service where we greet each other with love, a hug or handshake, whichever you're comfortable with. We like to say namaste.
It's multitasking day. So, to paraphrase, to steal a phrase rather from one of my favorite 1980s TV show, The A-Team, I love it when a plan comes together. And if you watched The A-Team, you knew that there really wasn't ever a plan. It was just the synchronicity of things. There was a little planning, but it was also very synchronous that as we were talking to the mystical arts of Tibet and asking about, some times they could possibly be here, they shared that this week was one of the ones available to them. I said, that's awesome because I am doing a book series called The Book of Joy, written by the Dalai Lama. I don't have my clicker, so you're gonna have to be my remote clicker back there. There you go. Thank you. So, Book of Joy. If you haven't picked up your copy, pick up your copy in the bookstore. And we also said, well, they're going to be here that week. Oh, it's World Day of Prayer Week. How perfect that we have Buddhist monks in our space during World Day of Prayer Week. They come do some chanting. Oh, and the health fair. Like that Saturday too. Let's just do everything at once. Why not? Which, like I said earlier, is totally antithetical to my life's mantra, which is less is more, But I also say everything in moderation except moderation. So sometimes, you say yes. You say yes to the interconnectivity of all things, to the synchronicity. And again, so grateful for all the people who have stepped up in some way this week, whether you are hosting a monk, whether you signed up to prepare meals for a monk, whether you have signed up to come during the day when the monks are here from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. to hand out flyers or help guide visitors. If in some way you're helping out with the monks this week, would you mind raising your hand so that we can thank you? So we can thank you. Yeah, this is community. This is what community is all about. So to continue in our series on the Book of Joy, if you remember last week, we introduced you to the 8 pillars of joy that the Dalai Lama and Bishop Desmond Tutu shared in the Book of Joy. So the 8 pillars of joy are, please bring up the slide so I can remember what they are. There we go. Perspective, humility, humor, acceptance, forgiveness, gratitude, compassion, and generosity. The 4 on your left, we talked about them being more mental type concepts, when we widen our perspective, when we take a step back from like the immediate panic moment, from the short-sighted view of what's going on, we take a step back and embrace it all, we get a much wider view. It becomes less about, hey, look how this has affected me and what's happening in my life, to realize that because we're all interconnected, anything that happens to one of us happens to all of us. And from that place, we get a deeper sense of humility to realize, hey, this is not always about me. It never was about me, and I'm never in control, regardless of how much I think I am. And then when you have that perspective, you just got to laugh at yourself. That's where the humor comes in. I thought I was in control. What was I thinking? I thought that again, and we talked about expectations of people. You know, how we have these expectations of people, we never give them the memo about the expectations, then they disappoint us, and we're upset with them. Like, if that's not funny, I don't know what is. But we have that humor perspective. And then, when we can kind of have that humorous overlook, and not humor as this is funny, we laugh at it, but more about recognizing our own silliness in our thinking around these things, then we come to this place of acceptance, where we accept what's happening now, where we can look at all the things happening in our lives and realize, yes, I accept this as the outward reality that is going to inspire my inner consciousness to step up to the plate. And one of the things that it does to step up to the plate is forgiveness. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. You've heard a lot about forgiveness over the years. You've read books on forgiveness. You've done forgiveness practices. I don't know there's anything much left to say about forgiveness, except this one thing. This one thing, and I love how it was phrased in this book. Forgiveness is simply releasing the desire for a different past. Forgiveness is releasing the desire for a different past. Because when we are in a place of anger and resentment, it's about something that happened. It might have happened 3 seconds ago, or it might have happened 3 decades ago, or somewhere in between. But the point is, something happened in our past, and it got us to this place of frustration, resentment, irritation, disgust. We may hold a grudge. We may carry this grudge forever. We may stop speaking to our best friends. We may disown people from our family. We shut people out. We decide not to go and do things because that person's involved and we're done with that. We leave our spiritual communities because someone's upset us here and we don't even know what we did. We may not have done it on purpose, but point is, if we stop wishing something different had happened in the past, that's what forgiveness really is, because then we can't hold the resentment in the present. And that's simply what forgiveness is. I say simply, but we know it's not always easy, right? It takes time. It takes discipline. It takes practice, practice, practice. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. How do you forgive? Practice, practice, practice. You practice those 4 concepts we talk about: perspective, humility, humor, acceptance. Without ceasing. Exactly. Yeah. Like the Energizer Bunny. Keep going and going and going and going. I love what the Dalai Lama says. He says the power of forgiveness lies in not losing sight of the humanity of the person while responding to the wrong with clarity and firmness. Because it's not about saying what they did was okay. It's not about saying that we forget it, we sweep it under the rug. It's not about saying that we don't have to take some steps to mitigate an action or behavior. That's not what it is about. We do those things, but those are all external things. What happens on the inside? Because the inside is the only thing that matters. For each and every one of us, what happens on the inside, how we live from the inside, what we choose to think and believe and have faith in the inside, that's the only thing that matters. Why? Because that's the only thing that determines what we do on the outside. We live life from the inside out. From the inside out. So the forgiveness is simply saying, hey, what happened happened. I don't wish it happened differently. I don't wish it happened differently. The Buddhists have an amazing practice of taking and giving. It's called Tonglen. And the practice of Tonglen is a really powerful practice that allows you it's a meditation practice. We do it with the breath. And on the inhale, what we do is we take in pain and suffering. It could be our own pain and suffering. It could be the pain and suffering of someone else. It could be the pain and suffering of a country, of a world, whatever it is. And when we say we take in the pain and suffering, we don't make it our own. But what we do is recognize that there is pain, that there is suffering. We recognize that the only way they can be peace is if that's transmuted to love. And because energetically, spiritually, we're all connected, if anyone is suffering, we're all suffering on some level. So we take that in. We take that in the in-breath. We hold it for a moment. And in that holding it for a moment, we realize that who we are is the very embodiment of love, divine love, God's love. It's no further than right here. You know, some of us speak of the heart as the symbolic center of our love. So we hold it in our hearts for a moment, transmute it, and when we breathe back out, we breathe out love. We breathe out the energy of kindness. We breathe out the energy of compassion. We breathe in the suffering, the pain, the hurt. We breathe out the compassion, the love, the kindness. Now, some of you might be skeptical, because there's skeptics in every room. So you're saying, is that really going to make a difference? Like, is that really going to make a difference? You know, we see all the people suffering under these storms. We are well aware of the political climate that we live in these days. We see all the things that are happening in the world. Some of us are legitimately afraid that we are one button push away from thermonuclear war. Like I spoke to someone this week who called me in tears. They were so scared about this. These are legitimate things. So you can believe or not, but here's one truth. Here's one truth. When we practice this, we are changed. We are changed. When we step into this practice, this Tonglen, or even just forgiveness in general, when we do this, we no longer see what's out there as a source of fear, as a source of anger, as a source of disgust or dismay. We are changed. And how do you change the world? One person at a time. And who is the only person that you can change? Despite your best efforts, who is the only person that you can change? Yourself. You're the only person. You are the only person. And I get it. Lord knows I spent a lot of years trying to change a lot of people. But then somebody reminded me one time, so in all the events in your life that are going wrong, who's the common denominator? This guy. I'm not saying you caused it, but I'm saying because you are in all the situations in your life, you want them to change, you have to change. And how do you do that? Staying grounded in joy, releasing a desire for a different past, becoming fully present, accepting, and forgiven. So we're going to do this Tonglen practice. I'm going to invite the monks back up in a minute. In fact, why don't you guys come on up now? Because I don't really got anything else to say. So let them come on up. This might be the only Sunday I promised a short talk that is actually short. Thank you. Thank you. Remember last week he talked about all the ways I disappointed you? Not today. Nailed it today. So they're gonna start chanting for a little bit. We're gonna do an extended meditation time. We're gonna probably do a nice 10 minutes. 10 minutes? Can you guys do that for 10 minutes? That's amazing. But in the next 10 minutes, what I'm gonna invite you to do is this practice of Tonglen. This idea of first figuring out what is it you wanna hold, okay? Like I said, it may be the suffering of someone else in your life. It may be your own pain and suffering. It may be for the cities being affected by all these storms in the islands. It may be for the country. It may be for the world. The world is a big place. If you want to take on the world, take on the world. Why not? You know, there's no time in God, there's no size in God. So first focus on that thing, okay? And then as you breathe, imagine yourself taking in taking in the suffering, the hurt, the pain, the fear, the anger, whatever these negative emotions are. Imagine yourself taking them into your heart, because when you take it into your heart, that's the love center. Okay? When we speak of ourselves as spiritual beings and we speak of ourselves as the embodiment of love, that's all there is. There's no room for anything else. So when something else other than love comes in, we can transmute it, we can transform it. And then we breathe out love back into that situation, back into the lives of the people we were focusing on, even if it's yourself. Even if it's yourself. So I won't guide you with my voice. That's the instructions. That's the directions. So I'm going to invite us to get into a comfortable place. I'm going to invite you to plant both feet on the floor. If you're comfortable, closing your eyes. If you don't want anyone else to see you closing your eyes, close your eyes and they won't see you. As I like to say. Close your eyes, they won't see you. Okay? And first, before we start going in, before you start focusing on your breath, bring to mind whatever that thing is, or that person, or that situation, or that event that you want to offer this take and give, that you want to offer the forgiveness, that you want to transmute, that you want to release. And again, don't worry about thinking of if what I'm doing is going to change that. It's about changing you. So as you bring this to mind, I invite you to gently close your eyes. Begin to focus on your breath. Breathing in the pain and suffering, holding for a moment, breathing out the love and compassion. Can I have a prayer box? So if you continue to just sit in that place of breathing out love and kindness and compassion, let us do so for all the names, events, and situations in this prayer box, and especially for those in the path of Hurricane Irma today. Let us hold that for every situation there's a realization of the opportunity to be the face of God, to be God's love, to be God's kindness, to be God's compassion, to be God's wholeness. So I invite you that if you would like to hold this intention for anyone else in your life, to say their names out loud now. We see them grounded, whole, safe in the presence of God, which is with them because it is in them. It moves through them. It shows up as them. And so it is, and so let it be. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Ogun. Thank you for your beautiful chant. Thank you. Okay, now we have prayer chaplains here to sit with you right after service. You could stand. These are our prayer chaplains. Beautiful souls are here to pray with you, whether it be a prayer of something that you are in need or a grateful prayer. They are here to just hold the space with you. Thank you. We also have a program, home and hospital prayer chaplains. Could you stand, those that do the home and hospital visits? These folks are here if you have somebody at home or in the hospital that you'd like them to visit for some prayer. Also, there's a prayer box in the back. As you know, it comes up. You can always go and put prayers in the prayer box anytime during the service, before the service. As you see, we always pray on those, and those are held, I know, as well. And we have a prayer team in Silent Unity. We'll pray over your requests. And now it's time to get our tithes and offerings together. And don't forget, streamers, there's a donate button for you online. You can join in if you'd like. We'd love that. It takes a lot for us to get the message out to streaming land, so we'd much appreciate it. So let's hold our tithes and offerings in our hand, and let's say our affirmation together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Thank you, Mickey. And just a reminder that these offers and gifts you give, it's what helps us do great events like these, and we always tithe on these gifts. We give back into the Amesbury community. We give back into the wider Unity community as well. Just a couple other things to bring to your attention. As was mentioned earlier, we do need some more volunteers for this week. We also need some more folks who are willing to open their homes later in October for Adventures of Faith or small group book study. We're doing the book, The Zen Commandments. So if you are willing to open your home for small group or facilitate a small group in somebody else's home, or do both because you want to take on more is more for that, you can welcome to do that. Sign up at the Spiritual Resource Center in the bookstore area. And just a reminder, please do not go and buy the books until we get them here, because part of the purchasing the books directly from the author, who will be here, the author Dean Slider of Zen Commandments will be here on October 8th, I think. Purchasing the books directly through him will help fly him to us. He's in California. That's a long flight. It's an expensive flight, but he's working with us directly that way, which is awesome. So buy your books here if you can. And if you want to be a facilitator, there will be facilitator training with me after church on September the 17th. So we can walk, I can give you the study guides, and we can walk through how you facilitate a group if you've never done that before. Tomorrow, the 11th, is the last day to sign up for the Eastern Region Conference. That's going to be happening in Hampton. If you're thinking, oh my goodness, I've waited till the last minute, don't beat up on yourself. So have I. I got to register for this thing, and I'm going to do it today or tomorrow morning. One of those things. But yes. So register. Now, again, just a reminder, you're thinking, I can't go to this all-day conference for the next 3 days. That's fine. There are plenty of evening individual events that you can participate in. And I know some of you are fans of the Bible out there, but even if you're not, the keynote speaker, Dr. Laura Barrett Bennett, she is like one of Unity's premier, if not the premier, Bible scholar, who really, really does a magnificent job of taking the Bible and reinterpreting it, re-envisioning it from that New Thought metaphysical perspective that we are. You want to go see her. She will turn your world upside down, inside out. If you still got hang-ups about the Bible, please go see her. She'll take care of it. She will make you make peace with the past of you might still be holding the grudge with the Bible. Go see her, seriously. So please check out the website, UnityEasternRegion.org. Sorry, we got handouts and flyers about it in the Spiritual Resource Center. Get more information. This is an opportunity you really don't want to miss, because the Unity Eastern Region, it travels every year to different places, the conference. And we're really blessed to have it here, so take advantage of it being here. And finally, one last thing, also on the 17th, Leslie Smith, you all know Leslie Smith, many of you do, she's going to be hosting a workshop called The Connection Practice. Now, this is a really important process. I've been through it. It's phenomenal. Some of you are familiar with nonviolent communication. Some of you are familiar with heart math. The connection practice takes these two things, combines them, and kicks them up a notch. It is a process that was developed by Uni Minister Rita Marie Johnson. And to give you an idea of how important this practice is, she developed it while she was living a few years ago in Costa Rica. I don't know if you know anything about Costa Rica. They don't have an army. They don't have a military. They exist in a place of peaceful resolution on all levels of government and so on. And the connection practice was part of what helped implement that. So if you're thinking that these tools we learn really don't transform on a big level, you're sorely mistaken. Go research the connection practice. Go look up Costa Rica. Rita Marie Johnson is the person that helped bring that into being, and she trains many people around the world to do this practice. Leslie Johnson was one of those people. I did some training with her as well. I didn't complete all the levels, but Leslie did, and she's going to come and implement that, giving you real tools to transform yourselves and transform the world around you. And last but not least, when the service is done, grab some food, hang out with each other, have a good time, and then at 12, come back in here for this opening ceremony that the monks are going to do to start the mandala creation process. They'll be working on it actually till about 3 today. They'll start drawing the lines out for the mandala. So if you want to get a sense of what that looks like, you can head over to it's that building right on the corner over there in our parking lot. You'll see some flags hanging from it. That used to be a dance studio in there, but that's one of our units. They're going to be in there all week. You can go check it out. They also have a lot of products for sale as well, and they're taking donations. And all the proceeds that you share with them there, they are taken, because what they're doing, why they do this, is really to raise funds about awareness of the situation, the ongoing situation in Tibet, and That's why they're here. I also invite you to check out their website, Mystical Arts of Tibet, to get a better sense of what they do. Almost forgot. The other cool part is also set up in that room is a community mandala table, so you can come in and help create your own mandala. And we've even got little tiny ones for the kids too. So if you're thinking, oh, this might be boring for my kid, no, bring your kids in, bring your grandkids in, your nieces and nephews. Some point during the week, they can make their own mandalas. And just so you know, for the kids get to glue theirs and keep them and take them home. Grown-ups do not. Okay? So, what, really, are you disappointed? Really? Remember, the whole point of the sand mandala is to reflect impermanence. That's why they spend all these hours making this thing and then they sweep it up. Impermanence. So now if you want to be a kid at heart and make a little one for yourself, I guess that's okay. But I'm going to invite you to participate in the one that we're building ourselves. Where's Renee? Is Renee in here? There's Renee. Now Renee did a really masterful job of drawing out a mandala for us to play around with. So thank you for that, Renee. So there's a lot of stuff for you to do over there. You can check it out a little bit afterwards, and please find some time to come in during the week. They will also be doing a little more of their chanting Wednesday night during the World Day of Prayer service. So spread the word. And finally, on your way out, you're going to be handed some flyers and leaflets with information about them and about the health fair. So take a few, pass them out to your friends, and let's just get this place full during the week. Let's bless the tithes and offerings. So again, go into that place within your heart of compassion, kindness, gratitude, abundance. We give thanks for these gifts. Those of you who gave here today, those of you who are giving online, those of us who are tithing in the Absolute Abundance class, whatever the channel, we give thanks. We give thanks to God as source. And we give thanks for our ability to give on these gifts and transform the world. Shine in our light as unity on the river. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your gifts. And it takes so many people to put this service together, so I'd like to say some thank yous to folks. I'd like to, just a general thank you to all the folks that have put together the service for Sunday and do that every week. And also the Sacred Service team. Also, we had some angels this week. Rick, Mary, Susan, Heather, Nancy, M, Jim, and Cindy. Thank you to our teams, youth and family volunteers, the bookstore, and office volunteers. Thank you so much. And do we have any board members here? Thank you, board members, for your service. And now we have our celebration song by our very own Maura.
I brought this song today, too, that I'd written a while ago, but had never brought here. And I just want to say the first verse. It's love came down as stardust bright to root the core with the radiant light. And the center of fire was spirit and form, and the eternal flame of love was born. Here in our hearts we are called to hear our soul sing the one song. Love came down as stardust bright to root the core with the radiant light. The center of fire was spirit and form, and the eternal flame of love was born. Here in our hearts we are called to hear our soul sing the one song. Thank you.
If you wouldn't mind, stay standing. We're going to bring our kids in. Before we start, though, I do want to give one last shout out of thank you to the few souls who came yesterday to do some extra work on our meditation garden and to help hang flags and prepare for the monks yesterday. And special extra thanks to those of you who are hosting the monks. I know it's going to be fun having these guys in your home, given the fact that the English is not there. So, you know, a week of charades is going to be awesome. Let's welcome in the kids.
We are one.
Woo! All right. You're welcome to sit. Sit for a moment.
Today we talked a little bit about impermanence today. We talked about sand paintings. We made our own very lovely sand paintings today.
All right, cool. So yes, you can have your glue sand. I told them that they could do that too, with the little thing. They were disappointed that they couldn't take them home, but I said, yes, you can now. We call it an audible. Let's stand, please. Join hands with your neighbor as we hold the intention for these children, for ourselves, for the entire world. Again, especially for those who are in the path of Irma this week and today. Let there be peace on earth.
my boys, can you tell?